Next question number 12 is, what is oogenesis? Give a brief account of oogenesis. So first of all, what is oogenesis? Oogenesis is a part or is a process of formation of ovum or formation of egg cell inside the ovaries of a female. So oogenesis have a simple definition, that is, it is just a process by which the formation of ovum or the formation of egg cell takes place inside the ovaries of a female. Now let's understand the account of oogenesis, a brief account of oogenesis with the help of a diagrammatic representation. First of all, you have to remember that oogenesis is actually different with the spermatogenesis, as the oogenesis starts before the birth of a female child. So oogenesis, a very important point to remember here is, oogenesis actually starts even before the birth of a female child. So here we are writing, this is fetal stage of a female child. All these things which are writing over here on the screen are actually occurring in the ovaries of a female. Now in the fetal stage we have many female germ cells known as oogonias at the stage of a fetal. At the time of when the female child is present inside the womb of her mother, that time is she is having around 6 lakhs of oogonias, or we can say 6 lakhs of follicles, primary follicles, inside which the oogonias are actually present. Basically this oogenesis is somewhat related to the folliculogenesis. So we are taking oogenesis here. This oogenesis, the formation of egg cell, the formation of ovum, is actually happening inside the ovaries of a female, and this oogenesis or the formation of egg is occurring inside the follicles only which are present in the ovaries. Now this oogonia divides mitotically. This divides mitotically. This will undergo mitosis. This will undergo mitosis, and first of all this oogonia is actually diploid in nature. Now these oogonias in the fetal stage will undergo mitotic division and form several cells. Now we will have cells like this. Among all these cells, after multiplication, after the mitotic division, when this oogonia undergoing mitotic division to increase their number, among all these cells, several cells will transform into a cell, a grown cell which is known as primary oocyte. This is primary oocyte. Now this primary oocyte will undergo first meiotic division. First of all, this is, as there is no meiotic division is occurring, hence the primary oocyte will also be diploid in nature. Now at the time of fetal stage only, this primary oocyte will undergo the first meiotic division, but it will not complete the first meiotic division. It will remain suspended in the diplotin stage of prophase 1 of meiotic 1 division. So it starts meiotic division, I am writing here, it starts first meiotic division in the fetal stage only. It will start the first meiotic division into the fetal stage only, but remain suspended in the diplotin stage, of prophase 1. It is not completing the first meiotic division. While it is getting into the first meiotic division into the fetal stage only, but it is not capable of completing this division. It will remain suspended in the diplotin stage of prophase 1 here. Now, This all thing is happening in the fetal stage of a female child. When the female child takes birth, suppose the female child is now taken birth, this will remain same up to the puberty. This will the stage from here to here, this will the stage called as childhood. Now, once the female child, this female child after taking birth and completing the childhood, when hits the puberty, let's suppose this female child hits the puberty. Now, this first meiotic division is going to be completed at the time of puberty only, first puberty. Now, the fetal stage is having oogonia cells which undergoes mitotic division to form primary spermatocytes. Primary spermatocytes in the fetal stage only, they will start the first meiotic division but is not capable of complete the first meiotic divisions, hence they will remain suspended in the diplotin stage of prophase 1 and they will complete the first meiotic division when this female child is going to hit the puberty. At the time of puberty, this first meiotic division will going to be complete at this stage. But here to remember is that this first meiotic division will result into the formation of two unequal cells. Hence, this meiotic division will be unequal division. Now, at the time of puberty, this primary spermatocyte undergoing or completing the first meiotic division will result into the formation of two unequal cells. Now, we have two unequal cells like this. This smaller cell is known as first polar body, first polar body, and the bigger one cell we have is secondary oocyte. This is secondary oocyte. This is secondary oocyte. This thing, after the completion of first meiotic division, when the formation of first polar body and secondary oocyte is being takes place, this is happening actually in the phase of puberty. When the female child hits puberty, we will have first polar body and secondary oocyte. This secondary oocyte will undergo another meiotic division, the second meiotic division. Now, this secondary oocyte will undergo meiotic division, but it will also remain suspended in the metaphase 2. So, this secondary oocyte will remain suspended in the metaphase 2. It will also not complete the meiotic division. It will not complete the second meiotic division. It will complete the second meiotic division only when the sperm cell will come in contact with the secondary oocyte. When the ovulation occurs inside the females, ovulation means the release of these secondary oocytes from the mature Graafian follicles from ovaries into the fallopian tubes. This is known as ovulation. When ovulation is being done and inside the fallopian tube, when this secondary oocyte actually meets with the sperm cells, let's suppose the sperm cell came to the secondary oocyte. This sperm cell, when actually meets with the secondary oocyte, it activates this secondary oocyte. Hence, the completion of second meiotic division will take place and resulting into another unequal cells, that is, we will have small cell and a big cell. This small cell is known as second polar body, and this one big one cell we have is ovum. Now, in all the females, when we talking about the secondary oocyte, in all females there is no formation of ovum actually takes place. Only the formation of ovum takes place when the secondary oocyte meets with the sperm cells inside the fallopian tube. Otherwise, when the secondary oocyte is not meeting the sperm, this secondary oocyte will release into the fallopian tube, then it will go into the uterus and will come outside of the body through the vagina during the menstruation period. So this is how oogenesis actually takes place inside the into the fetal stage. Oogonias divides mitotically to form primary oocytes. Primary oocytes are 2 and diploid. This primary oocyte starts its first meiotic division but is not capable of completing it. Hence, it remains suspended in the diplotin stage of prophase 1. And when this female child hits the puberty, it will complete the first meiotic division, forming the two cells. These two cells, all these two cells, the first polar body and the secondary oocyte, which are unequal in size, are having N chromosomes, are having haploid ploidity. So all these cells, that is first polar body and secondary oocyte, are haploid in nature. Then after this, secondary oocyte will also undergo the second meiotic division but is also not capable of completing it, thus remain suspended in the metaphase 2. This will complete the meiotic 2 division only when it will meet the sperm cell inside the fallopian tube. If the sperm cell gets meet with the secondary oocyte, this secondary oocyte will complete the metaphase 2 and goes into anaphase 2, completing the meiotic 2 division and converting into an ovum and second polar body. These secondary polar body and first polar body actually degenerates. What we will get finally? The ovum, which is also haploid in nature, containing 23 chromosome numbers. So this is the process of oogenesis, which is actually starts much before the childbirth or female childbirth, fetal stage, and continues till here, puberty.